Going on? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people, and also the Black Financial Channel. Today, we're going to talk about Diddy. Diddy has a lawsuit where he is suing a vodka company, apparently because he feels like he's not being treated right. He feels like they're putting the white boys ahead of him. They basically kind of told him that he's not George Clooney. They didn't say that directly, but that's kind of what the gist of this is. So we're going to talk about Diddy's lawsuit. I'm going to give you a Dr. Boyce breakdown of what I'm seeing and relate to you. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, Black wealth is important. We believe that our people, be one people, not all people, be one people, will lead the world in economic intelligence by the year 2070. That is our number one goal. That is why I exist. That is what we are going to accomplish before I'm done. If you agree that we should break generational curses, put a B1 in the chat. If you agree that we got to rebuild our families, put a B1 in the chat. If you agree that black folks should own more land and property and businesses than ever before, put a B1 in the chat. That's what we do. That's what we believe. That's how hard we go. So anyway, as I get started, I first off want to let you guys know, if you stay to the end of the video, I've got a stock that I'm buying. The stock market's on fire, on fire. I mean, so much money is being made right now. It's crazy. I made thousands of dollars just today without doing any work. Didn't have to lift a finger. Didn't have to go to no job. And that's because the stock market is doing some amazing things that we've been talking about for the last several weeks. And now it's finally coming true. Now it's finally happening. And I'm going to give you a stock that I really like right now. So just hang on to the end of the video. I'll share that with you. Also, I want to give a shout out really quick to one of our black-owned businesses that's sponsoring this podcast, MJ West Solutions. And their website is mjwest.solutions. MJ West Solutions, LLC, is a black-owned, veteran-owned health and wellness company that offers books, fitness gear, and personal training plans, motivational videos, everything needed to accomplish fitness goals and improve quality of life. We've talked about how health is wealth. You should follow them on Instagram for motivational content. Visit mjwest.solutions for products. Use the code Dr. Boyce, all one word, and get 10 to 15% off products and training. I've checked their platform out. They are extremely, extremely good. Health is not just wealth, but actually health is more important than wealth, because if you lose all your health trying to get wealth, then guess what? You're going to lose your wealth trying to get your health back. Is that what I said? So don't give up your health trying to get money, because it ain't worth it. I promise you. All right, because Big Pharma is trying to get that paper off of you. We've talked about that. They'll sell you the donuts in the front of the store and the diabetes medication in the back. Give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. They literally make money from you coming in. They make money from you going out. It's very important that you use your head so that you don't let them play you like a sucker. All right, so anyway, let me hop in here and start talking about this thing with Diddy. So Diddy apparently has filed this lawsuit. Give me a yes or no if you saw Diddy's lawsuit, if you saw what was going on with Diddy. Diddy, man, that guy, my Lord, he's good. He is a hell of a businessman. And let me tell you why. Diddy has been around for like 1,000 years. Like, I think Diddy, he must practice some kind of Kardashian witchcraft or something, because this man has, for 30-something years, he has looked like a teenager. He has been relevant in the hip-hop music industry, even though he ain't had a hit song since Biggie was alive. But for whatever reason, Diddy is able to still do his thing. And I'm gonna tell you, I think that shows the type of genius that should be respected. I can also confirm that Dr. Claude Anderson, the author of Powernomics, he told me that Diddy called him and said he's a supporter of Powernomics. Now, Dr. Anderson, to be honest with you, he did say I didn't hear from him anymore after that, but he did, tell him he supports the Powernomics concepts. So Diddy, it seems like he might be one of us. He's a black dude, and I support him. I like seeing him succeed. So here's what's going on. So Diddy's been selling his vodka, apparently. Now, I don't drink. I don't believe. Malcolm X used to say that the white man will sell you the liquor bottle, and then he'll lock you up for being drunk. So I don't engage in any sort of mind-altering substance, because I know as a black man, I got to be alert. I got to be ready for war. I got to be prepared. I have to know what's going on. I have to spot possibilities, opportunities, threats, everything else. But then maybe that's my trauma talking. So I'm not making fun of you if you drink vodka. I'm just telling you why I don't. But anyway, Diddy sells this vodka. Apparently it's good. Everybody seems to like it. And he's suing the company that's making the vodka. It says here in CNBC, Here's why Diddy is suing Diego. I think Diageo. I probably misspelled it. Diego over his vodka and tequila brands. Sean Diddy Combs alleges spirits giant Diego racially discriminated against and neglected his vodka and tequila brands. The rapper and entrepreneur claims the company typecast his brands as urban and favored other celebrity brands such as George Clooney's Casamigos. Combs' lawyers are seeking a court order for equal treatment. They say Diego contractually promised under a years-long partnership. Huh. Okay. All right. So let's start. I'd like to ask intelligent black people. We're gonna hold court. All right. So I'm calling all intelligent black people, all B1 people around the world. We're gonna hold court. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do you think Diddy has a case? Say yes if you think he should be suing them. That he's right, that you ain't treating him fair. You're how dare you call him urban and classify him in that way? Or do you think that the case is a bunch of BS? What do y'all think? What do you think? Okay, Sheila says yes. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Diddy has a case? Okay, Eddie says yes. All right. I see another yes. Okay, it's a lot of yeses. Sean Campbell. By the way, this is my Vicky Dillard gamble. I got this idea from Vicky. I'm not even gonna act like I came up with this. Vicky's that's my girl. I love Vicky Dillard. She's in our movie, by the way. We make black-owned movies. It's called the next is called B1 the movie, coming out this summer. All right, so don't know, says Karen. Yoshika says yes. Sharona says yes. Kenneth says yes. Tia says yes. All right, need more facts. Eric. Okay, Eric might be the smartest person in the room because Eric is answering questions in the way I usually answer them. I answer questions in a way that's a little bit unpopular. I say, I need more facts. I need more information. Like, what's really going on? What really happened? All right. So basically, it looks like Diddy feels that he was slighted, mistreated, neglected, ignored by the company. The Diego that sells all this vodka and tequila. By not getting equal treatment, I imagine in the marketing. Maybe they marketed Clooney a little bit more than him. And it says that the lawsuit was filed Wednesday with the New York Supreme Court in Manhattan. His lawyers accused the company of neglecting his Ciroc vodka. I hope I said it right. That says Ciroc. Is it Ciroc or Ciroc? It's Ciroc, right? Ciroc. I want to sound sophisticated. Ciroc vodka and De Leon tequila brands, and are marginalizing their appeal by marketing them as urban brands. The rapper and entrepreneur, formerly known by stage names Puff Daddy and P. Diddy, claimed Diego sabotaged his De Leon brand tequila with shoddy packaging that made the product look cheap, while showing other celebrity brands such as actor George Clooney's Casamigos tequila more attention and resources. So let me see. I'd like to see the packaging. Hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to try to see if I can Google. Let me see. Packaging of Ciroc. I've seen. Does y'all think Ciroc is packaged like trashy? Let me see. Packaging of Ciroc. Let me see. Let's see if they got an image on Google. See if we can make this intelligent black people. Y'all's opinions are the only ones that matter. So let's see here. All right. Doesn't look cheap to me. It looks pretty. I don't know. It looks pretty sophisticated. I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen so y'all can see it. By the way, if you're listening on Spotify, you won't see this, but I'll tell you what everybody else thinks. And by the way, this podcast is on Spotify. So if you look up Boyce Watkins or the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, you can find it on Spotify. I promise you, hang out with me. I'll make you smarter and I'll make you richer. All right. So here is that looks pretty nice. What do y'all think? I think it's pretty. Now, let's see. Clooney's brand is called Casamigos, but that looks pretty classy. I think that looks pretty good. What do y'all think? I don't know. So if that's not classy, then man, I gotta up my game because when we ship out my book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, by the way. It's an Amazon bestseller and independent black owned, right? I'm not suing nobody for unfair treatment because we own the damn company. We put our stuff in like US Postal Service packaging, so we don't do nothing this fancy. Let me see if I can find an image of Casamigos. Packaging of Casamigos. They make these names sound so fancy and sophisticated. That's how they increase the price. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, let me show you Casamigos. So give me a yes or no. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Casamigos looks like it's packaged better than Diddy's brand? Now, if you're on Instagram, you won't be able to see it, but I'll tell you guys what people are saying. What do y'all think? There's Casamigos. That doesn't look any different to me. That doesn't look much better. I don't think it's not like, Diddy's brand is being thrown in like a paper bag or something. That part I don't see. However, Diddy, you know what? Here's where I stand on the lawsuit. I say if you can get the money, I would cheer for the black man getting the money, especially if he's getting it from other people. I mean, Lord Jesus, we know how much they stole from us. We might as well return the favor. Do I support the lawsuit on the merits? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to think about the lawsuit because I'm not here to judge Diddy one way or the other. Plus, I know people that know Diddy, and I don't want to. I've already pissed off half the world by being honest, so I'm gonna try my best to be nice today. I'll say this: lawsuits like this make me think. On one hand, I think that the reason we're going to be quick to support Diddy, which we should. I support him in this lawsuit. I want to make this clear. I want him to win. But part of the reason I think we support it is not because we necessarily know what's going on here, or we can relate to what it means to be a billionaire who feels like you've been oppressed or something, right? We can't relate to that. None of us are billionaires. I think the reason that we naturally, instinctively would support him rightfully, by the way, is because most of us have gone through some sort of discrimination on our job. In fact, if I was to ask you all this question, give me a yes or no. Yes or no. How many of you have ever experienced discrimination on your job? Give me a yes if you've ever experienced racism. Give me a yes if you've ever seen a scenario where somebody got a promotion because they were white or they got a raise that you didn't get and you feel like it was because they were white, or they hired, you got your master's degree, they hired the white girl with the GED and had you train her so she could become your boss or whatever, right? These horror stories that we deal with in terms of these racial microaggressions. And I want to stick a pin in that point because this is a standard pain point for Black people all around this country. Literally, when I ask that question, I almost never see anybody say no. And this means that systematically speaking, there's a lot of pain that we go through when we go to the corporate plantation and we have to deal with this nonsense for 20, 30, 40 years, right? And we're going into this space where nobody, the people don't like us that much. We're not welcome. We don't really feel like we fit in. It's extremely hard. The studies show that this has a huge impact on your mental health and your physical health. I believe, my theory is that this is one of the reasons why Black men die younger than everybody else. In fact, a Harvard professor actually proved that Black men die younger than everyone else, largely because of racism. Well, most of the racism that you experience typically comes on the job. So I think that's why we can relate to the disparate treatment. And the thing about this racial cloud, this cloud of racism, is that the cloud goes to a very high altitude. I'm thinking in terms of altitude today because I did my flight training this morning and I'm almost ready to do my solo. I landed the plane and I've been working on my landings, and my instructor said this was the best landing of your flight career. So I'm almost ready, y'all. I'm going to be a pilot soon. And so this cloud, and now yesterday we couldn't fly. Why? Well, because there were clouds in the sky, and the clouds went up to like thousands of feet in the air. So the racial cloud, the cloud of racism, is not something that just affects people who are at low altitude jobs, meaning low pay, right? Not making a lot of money. It affects people at high altitude jobs. Barack Obama got discriminated against on his job. He became president of the United damn States and still got treated in a certain way, right? I was a professor at Syracuse. This marginalization that Diddy's talking about, I know this well. I remember I pointed this out at Syracuse. They didn't like me for saying it, but I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. I remember telling them, I said, what you do is you ghettoize and niggerize your Black professors. Your Black professors come in, they have expertise in biology, expertise in business, expertise in all the sciences, expertise in law, and you just shove them over in African American studies. You literally say, oh, you're Black, so you should go over there. And this ghettoization that Diddy's referring to, where they just say, oh, you're Black, so you must be in the urban category. This happens all throughout the country. I remember when I was trying to break out of the plantation and leave Syracuse, and I started doing stuff on CNN and stuff like that. Let me tell you what happened. I remember I would go on CNN and I would tell them I was a finance professor, right? And the only time they would call me, though, was not to talk about finance. They always call me to talk about a racial controversy. I'd be like, okay, my doctorate's in finance. I was the only Black person on the planet to get a PhD in finance in the year 2002. You know that, right? You know that, right? They're like, yeah. But you know what? There was a racial incident where a Black man got killed by a mob of white people, Dr. Watkins. We want you to talk about that. And I'm like, I don't really want to always talk about that. I don't want to just be Black first. Black first and discuss that. I like being Black first, but I don't want to necessarily just be the Black guy in the room. I want to be human too, right? We want to be human. And one of the benefits of going to places like Atlanta or going to Africa is that you go to these places and nobody cares that you're black anymore. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to be black. It's not like, oh, you're the black guy. No, everybody's the black guy in Atlanta. Everybody's the black guy in Ghana. And then at that point, they want to know more about you as a person. Oh, you're the accountant. Oh, you're the asshole. You're the football player, right? So you get that chance to experience humanity in a way that doesn't necessarily happen when you're trying to integrate with the rest of the world. So I have a thought on this. And by the way, when I get done, I promise you at the end, I promise you I'll give you that stock I was talking about. Don't let me forget to do that. Could you do me a favor, please, really quick? Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It is a great book. It is a bestseller. Everyone loves it. The reviews are really good. Go to Amazon. Please feel free to grab a copy. Also, the All Black National Convention is happening October 20th in Atlanta. If you'd like to join us, just visit allblacknationalconvention.com, or you can go to my website, boycewatkins.com. And also, I want to give thank you to the Black-owned business that helped sponsor this podcast, positivevibesva.com. And positivevibesva.com. I'm going to read to you a little bit about this. Thank you. Shout out to all the veterans, by the way. This is a Black-owned and a veteran-owned company. It's a bookstore, and it was established in 1992. They started as an African bookstore, and they've been very successful, and they now sell a wide range of health products, including raw sea moss and black seed oil. So I hope that you'll go support positivevibesva.com because we got to support Black-owned businesses. Now, if you have a Black-owned business and you want to help sponsor this podcast, support us, we'll support you. Just go to drboycefinance.com, talk to Micah, tell her I sent you, and we'll make sure that you get that shout out, okay? So we want to support you, and you help support us. That way we can stay independent. That's the goal here. All right, so let me tell you about, in terms of Diddy. So here's where we're going with the Diddy thing, right? So we were talking earlier about Diddy filing this lawsuit where he feels that he's being mistreated by the people at Diego Vodka, the vodka company, right? They're not giving him his just due, and I am in complete agreement with this, right? I totally believe, without a doubt, that Diddy is correct in his lawsuit. Diddy deserves all the money. I hope that they pay him $10 trillion in the verdict. Now, here's where I'm going to get off the bus a little bit and kind of say something that maybe might upset a few people in the room. I don't think it will, but I'm going to just lay it out here real clear. One thing that I think sometimes celebrities forget is that you ain't white. You ain't white. I really think that we forget that. I remember talking to Charlemagne the God about Damon Dash, who went on to the Breakfast Club. Damon and I worked together extensively. He used to come on this platform a lot. He's a great guy. I like him a lot. And one of the things that I remember Charlemagne and I talking about was Damon had done that interview where he was basically yelling and saying everybody needs to be the boss. Everybody needs to, if you have a boss, it's like calling another man your daddy, and you need to be the boss or something, right? And I remember Charlemagne, when he called, he asked me to come on to the show to kind of, discuss what Dame said, contextualize it. And I said, I will come and talk about it, but I'm not going to undermine what he said, because Black people need to hear that. Black men need to understand that when you get on somebody else's boat, you ain't going to never be the motherfucking captain. That's the last time I'm a cuss, but I had to say it that way because that's the best way for me to explain it to you. You're not going to move into another man's house and be the man of the house. You're never going to be in somebody's yard and get to say that you own the property. So effectively, if you're talking about Diddy, this billionaire, this guy with, an infinite amount of swag, who is doing amazing things in entertainment, who is his own man in so many ways. Well, this lawsuit unfortunately undermines the fundamental idea that you are truly a strong, free, independent person that has all the sovereignty that you claim to have. Right. And so if you want to understand what freedom looks like, I need y'all to go look across the bridge at white folks for a second. Look at a guy like an Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I'm sure Elon Musk, maybe he files lawsuits. I'm sure he files lawsuits all the time. I'm sure he's in constant battles all the time. It doesn't mean he's perfect. I'm not putting white folks on a pedestal. But one thing I can say is that whatever Elon Musk wants to manifest, he can just kind of do it. Also, Elon Musk is responsible for the creation of several 100,000 jobs in his community. So when I look at a Diddy and I see where Diddy gets on the Forbes list, and you put Diddy ahead of all the thousands and thousands of Black business owners that are really employing as many Black people as they can, some of the people like, say, Don Peoples and others who are really, really, truly writing their own ticket, writing their own check. I think that you have to be cautious about putting rappers in a category where they don't truly belong. These lawsuits, this kind of lawsuit is the kind of lawsuit that's typically filed by an employee who was the victim of racial discrimination. This is not typically the kind of lawsuit that's filed by a boss who's truly in control of how his product gets marketed, how his product gets distributed, how his brand gets introduced to the world. This is a lawsuit filed by a guy who maybe doesn't feel like he has a lot of options. And so going back to the conversation I had with Charlemagne, when we were talking about Dame Dash, as I said, I listened to Charlemagne. He said, man, ever since everybody heard Dame talking about you got to be the boss, you got to be the boss. I got guys calling me saying I'm quitting my job tomorrow, and we can't have all that. He said, white people can go get jobs, and white people don't have to always feel like they got to own something and all that. And I said, yeah, I get it. I understand. I agree with you 100%. But the thing I learned the hard way is that you ain't white. You ain't white. And we have to say that to each other because we go to school and we go through all this integration nonsense and we end up thinking that we're going to get treated like everybody else. Like Diddy goes into this deal with this vodka company really thinking that he's George Clooney. You ain't George Clooney, bro. They're not going to give you the Clooney treatment. It doesn't mean George is better than you. He's not. I think you're better than him. But it doesn't matter what I think because that's not your company, right? So effectively, I'm really trying to figure out what the deal is with the lawsuit. But even putting the lawsuit aside, let's not talk about Diddy. I don't want to make this personal because I'm not dissing him. This is not a diss. This is just really kind of saying that, in this lawsuit, what I'm really seeing is that what you're effectively seeing is you are seeing racism. You are a racial bias, if you want to call it that, right? You are seeing the fact, you're seeing one fundamental truth that Dr. Claude Anderson has talked to you guys about a million times. White people don't look at you as the same way they look at themselves. And that does not make them inherently evil. I don't look at a white man the same way I look at a black man. An Asian man does not look at an Arab the same way he looks at another Asian. A Jewish man does not look at a man from Africa the same way he looks at another Jew. Give me a yes if you understand where I'm coming from. Give me a yes if you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these biases do exist, and it doesn't necessarily mean somebody's being evil unless you somehow have been misled to believe this fantasy that somebody's not going to see your black ass coming from a mile away. They look at you. They're like, oh, you're black. You're a rapper. You have made $1 billion from an urban message. You've been urban for the last 30 years. You came out the hood. Your music is from the hood. You're marketing hood shit everywhere. So we're going to put you in the urban category. I don't know if there's anything flawed about that logic. If you made your money playing the violin, then they might have put you in a different category. If you made your money by being a Hollywood actor, that might be a different outcome. Right? If you made your money by being a rocket scientist, then they market your vodka to people at NASA. I don't know. But no, like you've been urban since before Biggie. Bad Boy Records, right? Black Rob, whoa, whoa. Remember that? That was a great song. Anyway, my point is to say that I just find this almost I'm curious about it, right? Again, I want to say this, I want to make this clear. I hope he wins. I really hope he wins. But I'm just sitting here curious, like, what made you think you weren't urban? Like, why does the word urban offend you? Because that's what made you $1 billion. It's like Lizzo. Like Lizzo makes a lot of money by being the big girl, right? So when Lizzo decides I don't want to be the big girl no more, then she's losing 80% of her swag. Right? When she starts going on diets, then her fans start cussing her out and saying, what are you doing? You hate your body, right? Because you're trying to be healthy. Well, why is it? Well, because she set it up that way. Cardi B made $100 million rapping about her WAP. So she can't go and suddenly say, like Black China, now I want to rap about religion, because that's not what people are going to understand. What you market yourself as is what people see. And unfortunately, this is also reflective of another problem, a bone I have to pick with white folks in general and in the world in general, is that the black man is stuck in a very strange box. Diddy's stuck in his box, and he's suing because of the box that he feels that this company put him in. And again, I really hope he wins the lawsuit. I'm not here to be anti-Diddy at all. I want to make that clear. But here's the thing: you're also in a box too. You're in a box that I absolutely hate. And the box is that a black man typically can't reach Diddy status or make lots of money unless he, from white folks anyway, unless he's in 3 or 4 categories. If he is a rapper, if he is an athlete, if he is what's the other one? Or a comedian. Rappers, athletes, and comedians, as black men, tend to be the ones that get the most wealth and the most power dumped on them. And then what happens to the community is that you find that your whole community is led by a bunch of clowns, right? And a lot of this comes from the way you're perceived. You're perceived as dangerous when you show up intelligent and prepared. That's what makes Dr. Anderson public enemy #1. Think about this. Dr. Claude Anderson ain't hurt nobody. He fought for this country. He's a veteran, for God's sake. And why in the world would you be afraid of a man who gave his life defending the country, who has served in the government, who's one of the smartest human beings on the planet, who only wants to do the right thing? Well, you're afraid of him. They're afraid of Dr. Anderson. Like you would think he was a thug that was going to come shoot up the club. Dr. Anderson's none of those things. But you know what he is that makes him dangerous? He's an intelligent black man who truly cares about black people. He's not going to show up as the clown. He is showing up as the king. And the king is always perceived to be a threat. So effectively, this whole thing about Diddy being boxed in and being defined as urban and not being seen as the same as a George Clooney. I don't get the lawsuit. If I was the judge, I'd be like, man, whatever, man. Like you're urban. That's what there's plenty of money to be made in the urban category. I think that if Diddy wanted to go mainstream like that, he'd have to be the boss of the company. I would wonder if like what the limitations would be of him raising the capital to be able to distribute his own brand and create options for himself. No different from all of you. When you're going to work and you're not being treated properly, or you don't feel like you're being given proper opportunities, then effectively what you have to do is you have to find some way to bust your ass out of jail, right? Because you are stuck. A lot of you are stuck, and you got to find a way to get out. And it comes from knowledge. It comes from what did you learn as a kid about investing, building wealth, establishing businesses, or did you spend all your time learning how to fill out a job application, right? That's the biggest problem that we have. So do that at least for your kids and your grandkids. Don't leave them stuck, or they're going to be pissed off just like you are. That is not a generational curse that we're supposed to pass down, because B1 people don't roll like that. Give me a yes in the chat if we can agree on this, and then I'm going to go and tell you guys about the stock. I told you if you waited to the end of the video, I would give you a stock I've invested in that I believe is going to do well. Also, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. My new book, it's the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can get a copy on Amazon. Also, I want to mention really quickly in terms of hip-hop artists, Killer Mike, who is a great friend of the All Black National Convention. He came to our first convention in Atlanta years ago, set the roof on fire. He and David Banner came through. I love those guys. They've been friends for almost a decade. Killer Mike hit me up yesterday about his new album called Michael. He let me listen to it in advance. It comes out June 16th. And when I tell you that this brother is a genius as an artist, I'm not playing. This man, what got me started with Killer Mike was he did a great song with Ice Cube called Put the Pressure on Him. And Ice Cube's a friend of mine too. Ice Cube's been on this platform. I love that guy too. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. And that's how I got to know Killer Mike. But then I got to know him as a human being. And he is a good man. He's a conscientious man. He's an intelligent man. He is a ferocious man. He is a tremendous asset to the Black community. So when his album comes out June 16th, I hope everybody will support that album. The album is called Michael. I listened to some of the songs on the album. He sent it over to me. I was really, really impressed. So please check that out and support this brother. And while you're on whatever platform you're doing that, don't forget, look up my name as well on Spotify, and you can find this podcast on Spotify. All right, guys. So the stock that I like right now, that analysts believe is going to do well, particularly with the electric vehicle charging stations kind of being built. The government's going to spend probably $1 trillion putting these stations up around the country. It is ChargePoint. The ticker symbol is CHPT. CHPT. I just bought a few thousand. I don't know if I bought more than 1,000 shares, but I bought quite a bit of ChargePoint. ChargePoint is the stock that I believe is going to do well. And also, in fact, they're going to invest so much money into this electrical grid transformation that's necessary for electric vehicles that electricians are going to actually be in high demand. So if you are a person that has a young person in your house that is looking for a career that is going to allow them to get ahead financially, don't overlook the trades. Look, I'm a college professor. I'm all for college. College is fun. You learn a lot. It's a great experience. But one thing that's being neglected and overlooked is how much freaking money people are making doing the different trades, how much money people are making doing HVAC, how much they're making doing electrical work, how much they're making doing carpentry. They can pretty much write their own ticket in their own paycheck. So you can get paid well whether you work for somebody or you work for yourself. So in my view, if I'm 18 years old and I don't necessarily know if I want to go to college, I go and I become an electrician or a carpenter. And then I also take some classes on entrepreneurship, maybe from the Black Business School, right? We're right here to help you anytime we serve our community. And then I take that entrepreneurial skill, put that on top of my technical skill, and I go out here and I'm making 500K a year, 400K. I'm making as much money as a surgeon. This is not a joke. I talked to a real estate contractor, brother named Cedric, who's actually, he used to be in the entertainment industry also. He's coming to the All Black National Convention. I'm telling you, we're bringing powerhouses to the convention, not celebrities. I don't care about people being famous. Some of them are famous, but we're not looking for famous people. I'm looking for people that have an impact. I'm not looking for people who are just known because white folks put them on TV. I want people who are doing the work in the community. I don't want people just because you were in a movie or just because you made an album. That don't mean jack to me. In fact, sometimes it's a negative because y'all know what this music is doing to our young people. I bring people in who I believe are going to make a difference and move the envelope. Like billionaire Mike Roberts was there last year. I'm going to try to get Killer Mike to come back this year. That's an artist I love. D1, guys like that. And this brother Cedric, he actually is a commercial real estate developer who also owns a pickleball team. Remember Jamie Foxx talking about pickleball? They're strategically talking about pickleball because that sport is on the rise. Well, this brother bought a pickleball team and he owns lots of commercial property. And one thing he told me that you need to tell your family this too, is that he said, we are having a hell of a time getting contractors. He said, it is really hard to get our electricians and our HVAC people. And he said, it's going to get worse once Biden is spending billions of dollars building out the electrical infrastructure for electric vehicles. So that means that that's an opportunity if you can get ahead of the curve. So remember, B1 people, we don't react, we proact. We don't wait till it's happening. We move before it happens so you can be positioned to win. That's what good investors do. Give me a yes in the chat if all that ranting and yelling I just did is sinking in and it's making a difference for you, because I'm really emphasizing this because I want you to win economically. So, and again, if you got some money to invest, I think ChargePoint's a good stock to add to your portfolio. So feel free to take a look at that. Also on my website, there's a training called How to Make Money Without Working. Feel free to go to boycewatkins.com and take a look at that, as well as all of our other resources. We even have a whole Black Business School for children. All right, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you. Diddy, if you see this video, I want you to win your lawsuit. So don't take anything personally. This is not me hating on nobody. I always want that black man to get money, whether I agree or disagree with the lawsuit. And God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.